Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Angelika's Journal. As you know, I was doing my accordion journal. Now, this is just an update video. I have a couple of updates to put in this video, and I'm going to try and make it as quick as possible because I still need to finish this journal. But I just wanted to show you what I've done up till now. So where we left off, I believe I had to do these, which I've now done them. Oh, the other one's on this side. And then this one, I used natural. Now these are just strips of paper from my 12 by 12 that I ended up cutting off when I was doing other things. So I just pulled them out and used whichever ones appealed to me. This one I did writing, and then I put I glued on. This is actually a cutting from a 6 by 6. It was just these 4 at random on a page, and so I just cut each individually out. This I did not do a backing. This I did writing as a backing. And then, and then I added the flower. So I'm not going to show you all of them because you'll see it in the reveal. But there's another one. This one I overlapped with it. So the person, she'll have to write smaller. Now what I didn't realize is on the back where you have your agenda, these agenda booklets. Well, I didn't look at this because I'd done all these in the whole thing first. Then I went back to the beginning and did the next one, which was this. So I didn't realize I used the same paper. I must have had 2 of them available, because what it is these 2 are on opposite ends. Again, it's a 6 by 6, but these 2 are on opposite sides, and then it's just the brown background in the middle. But imagine it a 6 by 6. And so this one, I just folded it. This is 3 inches. So I just folded the 6 by 6, figured out which side I liked better. Then I sealed it along here, all the edges. The middle is open. All the edges are sealed. Then I taped it down to here and did the punch. But I didn't realize it was the exact. It's the only month that it is exactly the same. And this is April. But anyways, I did all of these. As you can see, they're there. Some are already in. These are the accounting booklets. And so, like I said, there are roughly 3 sheets per month. There may be 1 or 2 months that there's 4 sheets. I don't know. I wasn't being precise. And then from the scraps I had in the dish next to me, remember I had that dish, it's gone now, but I had a dish next to me with all the offcuts. Well, I took them and I cut them into squares. And then, do I have my punch? I took this punch. I have 2 of them. This one just rounds the corners, and this one does not different types of notches on the corners. So I use this one, the double, and so I notched the 4 corners on all of them, glued them down. No, I taped them down. This tape is so good, and it's not messy, and it doesn't wrinkle the paper. Any paper you see that's wrinkled is because of either the glue stick or the art glitter glue. But this stuff, look, I'm almost done. This stuff does not wrinkle. So I use this. I did 3 strips and glued it down. Now the month, instead of fussy cutting it out, remember there was the watermark mark on it? Well, I just cut it down to an estimated 1 inch by, I think it's like 3 inch or 2 inch. Yeah, 1 by 3 roughly. 1 by 3, 1 by 2, depending how long the name of the month is. And I just cut them square. You can still see that it's ragged, which I kind of like that look. So Yep, and I just glued it to, I just stapled. I decided not to put it up here. Just because it's a hassle. What I might do for the 3.0 is I'm just going to close this off. Close off all sides and just make this a solid cover. And then just do it this way. Right? I was thinking it'd be nice to have a little tab here to keep them shut. So when you flip between the different sections, you know, when you're flipping, this is what happens. Because it's attached somehow that you can undo, like a snap or something. Velcro maybe. Oh, Velcro might work. But then on and off, on and off. If it's your month that you're working on, it's going to go like 30 plus times open and close. Velcro might not survive. So I don't know. But it would have been nice, right? Unless oh, wait a minute. The back is like that, right? So I could just make a pretty paper clip and go like that. Right? And then when I open, it's always closed. Then all you do is remove the paper clip if you want to work in that month. Or you could just leave it open if you're working in it. Put the paper clip up here. So that's the month you're working on. And then when the month is done, you can paper clip it shut. And you're moving on to the next month. That is an idea. I'm going to leave that. I'm going to put that on January's. Because every time I finish one job, I go back to the beginning for the next job. So anything I want to add or change, I have to do it this way. But anyways, all right, so that's that. And so the pockets, oh, wait a minute. Doesn't go there. It goes here. They're going to be random. I tried to pick the colors that are these papers, which is the same as the base of those. So I spread them. That's why they're all spread out. Is because I wanted to see what colors I'm working with. And then I tried, like this orange is the only time I can use this. This one is a thinner paper though, but because all of, like I'm folding it, it gives it more strength. These are not folded. These are single because they don't need it. The other half that I cut off, I can use for something else. Because these are a lot. This is a, is it this one? No, these are 100 GSM. These are thicker. Or are these the 100? These could be. One of them was marked 100 GSM. And then another series of designer paper for the 6x6. That other series wasn't marked, but it was definitely thicker. So I'm thinking maybe it's, I don't know. It's not quite cardstock. So maybe 120, 130 GSM. I'm not sure. But these can handle it better than these. So I folded these in order to put these things into the pocket, right? You got to think of durability. So I did that. That's the January. And then, oh no, this is July. I got it backwards. Oh, and then I decided to do the cover. I took a break from this because these pockets were driving me crazy, picking patterns. So I made a cover for it. 2025, wild and free, because they're butterflies. You know, they're wild and free. And a little bit of glamour, right? A little bit of bling. It is for Scott's sister, so, you know, make it more girly girl. And so, there. And that. I did the booklets. I did this. Another thing, what I was thinking is because of the months. Now, purple and blue are a lot in here. You know, like this is blue. This is kind of blue. The purple, there's the lighter one and the darker one. Like these are, and they're velvet. They're nice and soft. So what I am thinking, of course I have to cut them smaller, but what do you think about having like this? So there's 2 months per section, right? So I'm going to do it on the other section. So this one would have this, and it would stick out a little bit. And then this one would have this one, and it would stick out just a little bit. Now it's not going to be this long, right? I'm just trying to show you. Make sure it's within the framework. And then put a grommet with a ball pin, or even just with string. I have all kinds of string just to put the word like April. This one's March, so M-A-R. April would be A-P-R. On the dangle. So then when you close it, you'd have one of these would be down below. So where the notches, one would be above and one would be below. And so you would have a little dangle in each section. So they would not close completely. They would have a little bit of an opening, about that much. Because those blocks, you would put JANFEBMARAPR, the first 3 letters of each month. And then for like June and July, you'll have to do the 4 letters. And then August would be 3, September would be 4. They're all 3 or 4, right? But then you'd have one up here and one down here in each section, including this side. But because you make it that it's within the framework, when you tie it, you would still have room. Here, let's take one of, now both of them are unwinding. So now I'm not going to use this one for the tie, but so it's going to be attached with a grommet here, and I'll make a knot. So then you would bring this would wrap around one more time, and then you would twist them in each other like that. And you'd have dangles on it. And then you'd have 3 dangles here, 3 dangles here, but they would be separated between each section. And I think because the dangles are on the top and on the bottom, it leaves the room for this. So that's what my thought process is. Do let me know down below if you think that'll turn out nice, or if you have some other ideas. That's just my thought process right now. Now, don't forget, you think one thing, but then you end up doing another thing. So I have no idea how it's going to turn out. But, okay, anything else? Oh, I do have, I bought this from Amazon, Whatever You Say, Words, Phrases, Sticker Book. And they're all kinds, like, they're really, really nice. And they're all different shapes. But within this, I ripped out these pages. These pages are just like, you know, it's not in a bubble or in a square. It's just one line. And so I was thinking of picking a few of these and just put them at random throughout. Like maybe along here I'll put one. Or maybe, you know, maybe here on the cover on the bottom, I'll put something small, good luck, or let's do this. And then here, well, there's writing, so I wouldn't put anything on that one. But maybe over here, going ham, curtains up, break a leg, bon voyage, I don't know. There's so many different ones here, right? Don't quit. Every day is a second chance. You've got this. Impossible is just an opinion. Be awesome. You know, there's all kinds on here. Every day is a second chance. Today's the day. Keep going. Embrace the present. And just have these random throughout. And I may take some stickers and put them random throughout too. But these have a white border. Well, these don't. These don't. These don't. Oh, maybe they don't. I lie. Oh, the leaf does. See, these were cut within the color. This has a border. Okay, so some do, some don't, depending on where the cutter cut it. Like this coffee cup, it has a border. That has a border. This one does not, because the cut line is within the green. So anyway, so those are other ones I'm going to add to it. I have other booklets too. I'm not going to show you them all. And then my embellishments. See, another thing too is, where's one that's done? On this, you don't have to stop there unless you want to. You could. And that way you leave something for others to do, because more can be done on that. But in here, like I got little flowers, butterflies, my little hole punch. You could put a hole punch and decorate it. These I got from the dollar store. You know, maybe I want to put her initial on it. Oh, that would be actually nice, the J, and then put something behind it. I've got labels that are like our store-bought labels. So I could put a label here, maybe a blue one or a white one, and put the letter J on it. And I believe her birthday's in April. I have to look it up, but I think it is. So I could put J here, or put the J, like this is a box. Put the letter J within the box. J, 8 points. Because her birthday's in that month, right? Another idea. Like, there's so many ideas. I have all kinds. If I want to go not whimsical, but like boho, there's all this stuff. Like, I could put a pair of scissors on here or there. Put your heart into it. Door prize. Drop this stub in box at the door. Oh, there you go. Don't forget, we also still have these to cover. Anyways, these are just some. This is my box of small stuff. I have all kinds of small stuff. Like, here's something that was cut out from mine. Remember that masterboard I made? Well, I stamped it with a frame and then I cut it out. And there you go. I could put that on something. That's pretty. Or you could take some writing. Okay, this is not writing paper. These are all done with my masterboard. I had done many copies to do many different things with it. But I have some that are stickers. Oh, there's my labels too. I forgot what my thought process was. Anyways, so I am working on it. I am progressing slowly. My doctor tried me on a new medicine for my arthritis, which inflammation and pain. Those of you that have arthritis know what I'm talking about. And with psoriasis, there's also what they call psoriatic arthritis, which is when you wake up in the morning, you're always in a lot of pain. And it takes a couple of hours for it to subside. Anyway, so she tried me on some new medication, naproxen. But because it affects the stomach, she gave me a second pill that coats the stomach before I take it. My blood pressure went up to 156 over 103. That's extremely high. I've heard of higher, but still, that is really high. I gained 5 pounds in that week. And I think it was the 8th or 9th day. is when I discovered, because I wasn't feeling good for a day. And I'm like, this doesn't feel right. It feels like my blood pressure is up. So I dug out my blood pressure monitor and took my blood pressure. And that's when I saw 156 over 103. And then later that day, like it closer to no, it was the next morning, because you can't weigh yourself when you've already eaten. It has to be before you eat. So it was in the next morning. That's when I found out I had gained 5 pounds. And by the 8th or 9th day, I said, this is it. I am not taking any more. This is not normal. This is dangerous. And I stopped it. But it took me like 2 days to feel better. But then I took an extra day just to make sure. And I was monitoring my blood pressure twice a day on the first couple of days. And then once a day. And I checked my weight. 24 hours, roughly 24 to 30 hours after I had taken my last pill, I was down the 5 pounds. Okay, maybe 36 hours. I didn't document the exact time. I just wrote a list for each day, what happened and everything. So yeah, it was within a day, day and a half, I was back down the 5 pounds I had gained from the pills. And so that I was shocked. I couldn't believe it that quickly, but it did. Yeah, and then of course, because I was out of it for a while from those pills, from the naproxen, which I now know never to take them again. It took me a couple of days to catch up on housework and get back into routine. So I lost okay, 1 day, and then 3 days recovery, and then 2 days that's 6 days right there. So yeah, when I posted the last 2 videos, I think it was, the second one was on Wednesday or Thursday. Yeah, I'm back. I've recovered. My blood pressure is back to where it was before all this happened. My weight is back to where it was before all this happened. So now we can move forward. Excuse me. Oh. So this is the journal. I am still working on it. I'm hoping Monday I can do the reveal, and then maybe Monday night give it to her. She doesn't mind that it's already past the first of the year. She just loves it. So I'm not worried about that. But I will add on. I'm not going to say bye yet, because I do want to show you my living room. I did move some furniture around because I guess after my blood pressure was so high and I had so many quiet days just to bring it back down, that I was just full of energy. So I did some rearranging again, and I repotted some of my plants. And so I just wanted to show you all that. So I will be right back, and I'll set you up in the living room. So this is a quick clip of the living room. And I did have to move some things around. Oh, that's my elbow. So what I did was I had to move this cabinet all the way to the end of the wall here. Don't look at this little messy pile right here. This is all going to my daughter's probably in the next few days. But I just wanted to show you. See in the back corner there, right down there, I moved the table that was at this end over there, so I have my 2 plants there. Now those 2 don't need a lot of sunshine. And then behind the blue couch, because it's no longer touching, like overlapping the cabinet. It's maybe 2 inches. So that was my goal. I didn't like it covering part of the cabinet and then I can't use that part of the cabinet. And then the plants are, the taller ones are all along here with the bushy one over in that corner, because the bushy one doesn't care about the heating system. So, and then I got my greenhouse set up right there. And I don't know if you can see with the fluorescent light, but in that one, all my little seed pods and the pellets are all ready to go. I have some plants in that one that need some babying because they were dying. Also my light above it, because of the way that those two, you remember those were from the Home Depot haul, those were the shelves I had gotten. Instead of doing it one tall one, we decided to do it like half and half. So I have two. And so, but it's right under where the light is now. The light was actually where the white macrame is, that little one, little pot. It was actually there. So I moved it over one. So it's right over that shelf, because that shelf, the plants that are there are the furthest away from the window. And when the sun goes away, it's on the right side of that shelf. So the plants on right here, this side only gets me, right now, they maybe get an hour of sun, half hour to an hour, just because of the way the sun comes around the building. So I figured it needs more house light, which is why I moved the light to the middle of that cabinet. So it gives it more light. It extends their day. And yeah, and then I changed over there. Let me take you over there. Oh, and then here, if you look, see, there's that pot that was cracked that I got from Bluegrass for half price. Doesn't it look nice with my snake plant in it? I repotted my snake plant. The palm I did not repot. I did move it away from the heater, though. It's a little further away from the heater now by about 6 inches, maybe 8 inches. So hopefully the tips won't dry out anymore. And then if we go, see, there's all my clutter on the floor, the soil, the fertilizers, the empty pots. They're all on the bottom. And then there's the ones that are in the light. And there's my ZZ in the corner. Yeah, it has a couple of yellow leaves, maybe 3, 4. I think it's because I had put it too far into the space away from the window, further away from the window, and it just needed more sun. Also, I noticed that I was overwatering the plants because they weren't getting as much sunlight. They don't drink as much, and I did not compensate for that. So that could be why also. But I think they all bounced back pretty good. This guy, he might be a slow grower, but you know what? He never got affected. He never got any yellow leaves. He never got any brown brittle leaves. Nothing. He's been just fine. And look, he has some new growth. Right there. There. Like, nothing phases this guy. And he's a variegated version of my ficus. That one right there. That's the green version, which has been dropping leaves. I don't think it got any yellow leaves, but it was dropping leaves. I think it's because it was overwatered. That one too. It likes to get a good douse of water, but not overly, and then you have to let it dry out before you water it again. Anyways, and then my rubber tree, the leaves are curling. Well, they were curling. They seem to be straightening out a little bit now. So again, it might be, it just needs more window space. This guy lost all its lower leaves. Hold on. I still have the tripod. That's why I'm holding it by the handle. So this one, which is my Chef Lyra, and I love it. But look, all the lower leaves all fell and dropped, and so hopefully he'll come back. I don't know, I may have to buy another one, or I could buy a smaller version and just plant it in the base. Then you won't even notice the stem. Anyways, this guy, he's had a few yellow leaves, but overall he's been fine. That's the Dracaena marginata, right? Because it has the red margins on the side of the leaves. So here I ended up putting I got rid of the black table that was here, and I put the black resin here because it's longer, it holds more pots. Before I could only put those 3 and then maybe squeeze in the jade, but they were all squished. So I did replant all 3 aloe vera. I just had to repot it. The roots looked horrible, and they weren't mushy, but believe me, the next step would have been them going mushy. So I got true cactus soil, and I planted it in that, and I'm only going to water it like the first of every month, and that's it. And we'll see. Hopefully it'll come back to life. A lot of these plants too, they could have been lacking nutrients too, because I stopped feeding them. We were living here. I had the issue with the plants on the deck. I think the last time I fed them was like August or September, probably September. So I think the last feeding is supposed to be October, but I stopped like August or September. And plus some of them have been in the same soil for 2 or 3 years. So they were due for a refresh. So the begonia I just bought in the last few months, so that I'm going to leave alone. The African violets that are in the window there, the 2 of them, I'm leaving them alone. They're still in their original pots. My banana plant, I don't think will survive. Looks pretty dead. So I may have to get another one of that. Those guys are doing amazing. And again, that's another succulent, right? Just like the jade and the aloe vera. So just a few drops of water, that's it. Now my hanging ones are the worst. That one probably has survived the best. Actually, I'm going to set up the tripod. Hold on a sec. Where are you? Oh, there you are. So he probably survived the best of all of them. It's the Hoya carnosa. And then there's my Easter plant. Whoop, right there. And that guy, yeah. He's had yellow leaves. He's dropped some leaves, but he still looks pretty full. And considering the worst of winter, like the lack of light, the sunlight during the winter, it is coming back. You can see this leaf right here. Where are we? Oh, right there. You can see there's a new section growing. So he's coming back. My lipstick plant, I know I didn't water that guy enough. Actually, all the hanging ones are dying from being too dry. That one is coming back because if you look, you can see See right there? Oh, I never know where my finger is. Okay, right there. There is a couple of flower buds. I don't know if you can see them. There's 3 of them there. So either they're trying to survive, and so they're making flowers, which then create seeds, and then they can drop seeds. Either that, or I don't know. Maybe it's happy now. Things are going good. All I did was give it more water. The hanging ones, I wasn't watering enough. It's definitely me and not enough water. Whereas the ones on the floor were getting too much water. So there are my 2 spider plants. The one with the babies is the spider plant. And I think the other one's called a shamrock because it's all green. And then, of course, the mint colored pot in the white macrame, that's the one for my granddaughter. And that's it. This guy needs help. It's hard because the light is there. There. See? Yellow leaves means, no, I don't know. It's like overwatering, but I dropped a whole bunch of dry leaves. So I don't know if they go from green to yellow and then they go brown. That's the impression I'm getting with this guy. They'll go yellow first to say, you got to feed me. And then if you feed them, they're fine. But if you don't feed them, then they go brown and brittle and die. I don't know. That's just the impression I'm getting. But anyway, so that's all the houseplants. All the changes I've made to this area. And I'll take you over. Oh, these bedroom pillows are because they're extras. And so we just use them so that when we recline, we have somewhere an armrest, because on that side of the couch, the armrest is really low. And yes, this is the side that's broken. And then that side is fine because nobody ever sits there. Yeah, so those are just bedroom pillows that we use for an arm, or sometimes we'll lean on it, or, you know, if we put it all the way reclined, then we'll use the pillow for our head so we can see the TV, you know, whatever. It does fully recline, this one. It's not broken in that way. I think it's just because at the house, Scott was sitting always on this seat. And then when we moved here, I'm now always sitting on that seat. So that seat has been well used, whereas the other side, nobody ever sits. Not at the house, not here. Nobody ever sits there. So now Scott does sometimes because I'm always on the broken side. But it still works perfectly fine. So why change something that still works? And there's all my wool. Here is where the blue tarp is. Underneath there's a tote. That's all my embroidery. Plastic canvas, felt, needlepoint, Aida cloth, the yarns for them, all that kind of stuff. And then, of course, the paints in the front because I needed that container to transport the stuff to my daughter, the other stuff. Now here I have pulled out my gardening stuff. You know my routine. I print up a calendar. I calculate the 10 weeks. There's my bag of seeds. You know what? I got to set you up with the tripod because I move around too much. And, yeah, you're going to get dizzy. All right, so those are my seeds that I did keep. Yes, I gave away probably 80% of what I had. I had so much. I still kept a few that I wasn't ready to part with, just in case I decide to try again. I did my calendar with all my dates so I know when to plant what. And then from the seeds I saved, I made a list. And so this is everything I have, along with the dates when I have to start the seeds. Now, granted, these are just guidelines. You can do it earlier, you can do it later, whatever you want. And then I found this I did last year with all the plants, the flowers. I had put what's taller than 2 feet and less than 2 feet. And then I listed them, which I did not realize I had done that. So all these here are shorter than 2 feet. All those are 2 feet or more, which is a smart thing to do. So you know, these will be in the front row and these will be in the back row. And then the list of herbs that I like growing. And these are just index cards. I cut the side and the bottom, and I just stapled it on the side and folded it. And there you go, my vegetables. It looks like this was the original seeds I had before I gave a whole bunch away. This was the list of seeds I used to have. And then I crossed off the ones I gave away. Now these two, I know I had no seeds for them. So I probably left it on there in case I want to get them. Yeah, so, and this is a good thing. You can also put, like with the vegetables, cold and warm, C and W, and make 2 columns. And so the ones that you have to start in cooler weather, you can check mark under the C, and those that are warmer weather, you can do the check mark under the W. So you start the ones under the C first, and then when the weather gets warmer, let's say it stays above 10 degrees or 12 degrees, then you can do the other column. And herbs, well, you could just do them indoors too. Like these herbs, if you grow them outside, I don't have stevia, I have to buy some. The plant, not the package of sugar. Yeah, so these, what you can do is in the fall, dig up your herbs, take a small clump of what you have in the garden, make sure all the soil's removed from it and there's no bugs, no nothing, and then plant it in a small pot, like maybe a 5-inch diameter pot, 5-inch by 5-inch, 4-inch by 4-inch, that kind of thing, and plant it in there and bring it in the house. Every single one you can do that with. Well, chamomile and peppermint are larger plant, so with those you may want a 6-inch by 6-inch or 8-inch by 8-inch kind of pot, but they can all be brought in. Anyway, so I pulled that stuff out and I started planting. And so I start March 10th, which means another 3.5 weeks. And then I'll be starting my seeds. And we're going to try this one more time. I have some ideas, like shower curtains for the magpies. If I put shower curtains, there is a metal rod up there. So if I get some magnets with hooks, I'll probably need like a dozen. But I'm thinking it can be done. So we'll see what I do with that. As for the squirrel, well, I don't know. We'll see when that time comes, right? Anyways, that's everything. I hope you enjoyed this update video. And enjoy your weekend. I don't think I'll be posting again until after the weekend. So you guys have a wonderful weekend, and remember, do what makes you happy and everything else will fall into place. And I will see you probably, hopefully, if all goes well, on Monday. Take care, everybody. Bye for now.